Alrighty, so the Shield collab is here, and I just wanted to go over each of the 4 new characters and tell you what kind of gear you should be making for them, because obviously 4 new characters is kind of a lot, and building 4 new gear sets can be very daunting and annoying. So obviously, if you don't know by now, the main character, Nalyd and Raftalia both are defense-related units. So if you notice in, the description of his skills, it says inflicts damage equal to 110% of defense. So very weird unit, kind of like how the Bond team uses HP to scale damage and everything like that. You're basically going to want to build defense-related gear instead of HP or attack sets. You're going to be going triple defense, which means you have 3 different debuffs or 3 different defense increases, because a defense set, if you don't know, it's a set of 2. So because we have 6 different pieces, we're getting 3 of these buffs. So running triple defense is just best case scenario on this character. Same thing with Raftalia, but the difference is going to be the top 2 pieces and what rolls you put on them. Obviously, with the bottom 2 pieces and everything, HP is still very, very good, so you want to have HP rolls on these. Defense rolls are probably the most important, so if you have any extra hammers and stuff like that, feel free to use them, or just if you're planning on using them, of course. Sort of build up the defense pieces as best you can. Obviously, mine isn't UR gear or anything yet, but that'll change shortly. I just haven't worked on these characters because they're brand new. The top pieces are very interesting because obviously they're attack pieces, but having attack doesn't do you any good on the character. So normally I would tell you to go for crit chance and crit damage on a character like this, like you would go for Bond or even Reinhard. And if you notice, if we go over to Raftalia, I ran a half crit damage, half crit chance set. So this one actually needs to be changed. I got really unlucky with these rolls for some reason, so I just said screw it and stopped there. But I have 1 piece is crit chance, 1 piece is crit damage, which is pretty good considering she's at level 1 right now and she already has 51% crit chance. I think her crit chance just scales a lot better. But for Nalyd, he has 46% crit chance, and from my understanding, it doesn't go very much higher, or like it increases, but it's still not high enough to where you want to go for crit chance, crit damage rolls. So going for something a little bit more catered towards just pure damage and beating through enemies' defense, pierce rate seems to be the best option here. Other people have already tested it out on JP, and it seems like crit chance and crit damage just aren't nearly as good on the character because he just doesn't hit as many crits as you would want him to. So very unfortunate. I do want to say, though, before we hop into, the rest of the characters, if you're new to the channel or anything, feel free to subscribe, because we're almost at 11K, and I would very much appreciate it. Moving over to Philo. Philo is an interesting character because she is going to be used on the Unknown team. The Unknown team does not have the greatest of CC when it comes to PvP as is, so you can run 2 things. You can run an attack crit damage like I have here, or you can run an HP crit damage set, which I thought about giving her, but it really just depends on what you're going to be using on the character. I don't really use the Unknown team that much in in PvP in general, so the odds of me actually getting the most use out of the HP crit damage set to give her that extra CC to hopefully go first is not really as big of a priority as me getting as much damage as I can out of using her in multiple game modes. So if I'm going to use her for, the demonic beasts or anything PvE related, or just something that's not PvP, having, best damage is going to be, obviously the better choice here. So going for an attack crit set is just the better option for me specifically, because I don't run Unknown all the time. And when I do, I will take that little bit of hit from CC, but it is what it is. Not a big deal. I'm willing to accept that, but if you would rather go for CC because the meta can be very CC heavy, and going first can make or break a character, and Philo is definitely a character where if you don't go first, she might end up getting absolutely wrecked, but she does a ton of damage, and if you can run an attack crit set on her, she has a really good chance, if you build her right and you actually have the characters invested into and everything, she has a really good chance of wiping the entire enemy team turn 1, which is insane. So I'm planning on going with the attack crit set. You can obviously use HP crit if you need to, but personal preference there. Obviously use what you want. Normal substat rolls on these, just attack defense, HP. If you feel the need to go for it, you can probably up these a little bit. This is a level 100 fully super awakened. I don't have any of her extra cosmetics at the moment. So it looks like you'll get a little bit of crit damage from one, a little bit of crit chance from the other, and then a little bit more crit chance and crit damage from the last attack piece if you buy those. So she'll pretty much be a little over 100 crit chance already. So I don't think you necessarily have to have those. Plus, if you don't know, her passive is ignoring some of the enemy's crit res and crit defense, so it's going to help you even more with hitting crits and stuff like that. So I think just going for damage is completely fine on the substat rolls there. Should be good to go. Kizuna, on the other hand, I know I have an HP defense set on her. It was just because I was using her in the boss, and I don't have her completely powered up just yet. But I would definitely recommend just going with like an attack defense set or an attack crit damage set if you want to go that little extra mile just for more damage. I think if you want to go for the attack crit set, it would probably be better, considering the defense pieces are mainly just going to be for a little bit of survivability, and it's going to help you out a little bit with CC, but because it's a PvE activity, you normally don't need CC. So I think an attack crit set would probably be best. I don't have just a ton of attack crit set pieces laying around. I have a decent amount of attack pieces, but crit pieces aren't necessarily as easy for me to come by. I have one here. Need to get an earring that I could potentially make, but Kizuna's a PvE only unit. She's not, you can't use her in Demonic Beast, so she's not like a huge priority for me at the moment, but obviously, if you're planning on using her for OG Demon or whatever the case may be, giving her attack, crit seems to be the best option, because doing more damage is good. Pretty self-explanatory. That's pretty much it, though. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this helped you, gear your characters up or anything like that. If you have any questions about the characters or the gear that they have, or just whatever you want to ask, leave a comment down below. I'll try to answer you as best as I can, and if I can't, hopefully somebody else in the community can. But that's it. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you guys in the next one.